QIS?
QIA.
QIA?
Yeah, Quality Institute of America.
Okay.
But that's such a mouthful, we just went with QIA.
Cool.
I suggested buy our software will kill a puppy, so they didn't like that.
They didn't
so
like that
we
one.
went with QIA.
All right. I think we got that recorded, so that's good.
That'll be in the bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
Buy it, I'm going to kill this dog.
I'm with it, but make it a cat. I don't want cats.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm a cat person.
Oh, man.
That's why I'm on this side of the mic.
Put your dukes up. All right. Well, welcome back.
Yes.
We have our own little introduction, I guess. I'm
Yes.
Darcy.
I'm Kyle.
And we're still at the ASQ conference.
Yes.
And we are sitting with Mike Prior now with QIA, who likes to kill puppies.
Yes.
We just heard.
Yeah, there's not much witness protection for that, I'm afraid.
I guess not.
Yeah, I was allergic as a kid and still am. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I do love dogs. So. But, it's like if a dog licks me with my allergies, and certain women too, I just welt up and I itch and scratch. And
All
Sorry, I
right.
had to make sure it was recording.
Okay,
For a
good.
second, I had a little brain fart and
So-
forgot if I clicked record.
okay, good.
So now y'all know why we invited Mike over.
Yes.
We've
Oh,
been
yeah. Lots
chatting
of
with,
fun.
as you can tell, we've had lots of previous conversations. We've been chatting
Yes.
off and on all day. But I told Kyle we should have him on and talk about sales because we are having an interesting, but I think true conversation. And I feel like I'm a female, so I can say this.
Yes.
And Kyle said how companies will make really important decisions based on how top-heavy their sales lady is.
It's sad.
As I told you earlier, I mean, in 25 years, I worked with two different companies that did not employ that strategy, but competitors of ours did. Mm-hmm. And it would be more comical than it really is if it hadn't have been reality-based and happening. That I talked to a couple of guys that said, yeah, our boss bought XYZ from this particular company because the woman was so pretty and she knew her stuff and everything was copacetic, and then thinking, man, we got this rep for the rest of our lives, and once she makes that sale, you never see her again, because then you get, you get Big Tony shows up and all he wants is his money, and
Right.
so it's like, yeah, I don't know if you'd call it underhanded, but it definitely is, sliding a loose jack up your sleeve before you enter the poker tournament. So it's bothersome because sales is hard enough as it is. And we were
Amen.
talking earlier about how you can just be the next brother-in-law of this guy and you got a done deal and then you never hear from him again. Crickets,
Yep.
I think you use the term.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've had people tell us that, oh, our software is beautiful, or man, the names that people drop on you guys, we've heard you before. And then for some reason it just dies. And I've had presidents of companies say that to us. Oh,
Yeah.
and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
But most of the time you're dealing with, a quality person or maybe an operations person that may or may not, most likely not, especially larger organizations, have their thumb or their forefinger on the checkbook.
Yeah.
And the excuse when I hear it, I know 9 times out of 10 it's a dead deal, is when they say, well, love it, but budgets. It's the end of the year.
Yeah.
Come back and see me in March because we got a budget. And if you hear the word budget, that's just what is it? What is that college snowflake word they use now? Triggering.
I love it.
It's a trigger word. You hear budget,
Yep.
basically they're just telling you go away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I've had the same thing, because it's actually funny, just because folks that are listening to this podcast don't know, we actually work in the exact same market, and we both provide similar software for
oh,
folks.
absolutely. Ours is better, but go ahead.
But they kill puppies.
Yes, they kill puppies to get it though.
Exactly. Yeah, but what a process we have for killing them. We have workflow to the knife guy, to the skinner. We don't run them over with a truck like they do in Pearland. So.
Maybe I need to record a disclaimer that this one is not G-rated.
That's hilarious. Okay.
But no bad language.
Yeah.
No,
bad
not
language.
yet.
Not yet. We might fix that in a minute. When I come to describe y'all software, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's so true though that it hurts me to see this stuff happen, because I know from personal experience the benefit a good software tool can do, not just for you and your job, but your whole company. Everyone gets to go home a little bit happier than they would have otherwise. And because some guy can't take his eyes off this woman, oh my gosh, the harm that does.
Well, and I think I wanted to point it out and talk about it because this is the second day in a row that I've heard somebody talking about this issue, and I can't remember the number that you threw out earlier, but our friend yesterday was talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a month a company was spending, and it should have been in half of that.
Sure.
I mean, that is
profit.
A lot of money that somebody is spending based on hormones.
Well, that one entity I was with in the another world lifetime ago, in garment industry, their pricing was probably in the ballpark of ours, but they were the volume of business. I mean, they had two sales ladies. I don't want to use that demeaning term.
No.
I don't think it is.
Saleswomen.
Yes.
That went around, and they were very successful because I'm quite frank, but these weren't like models at a car show. I mean, these women knew what they were doing.
Right.
They could have been vice president of the company, but they knew what side their bread was buttered on. And they could get a meeting anytime.
Yeah.
And after a period of time, even though Houston is huge, in our world, it's a small world.
Right.
You know, and in that world, it's very small, uniform thing. Word got around. And people actually would call and say, hey, could you send them over here? I'd like to talk to them about it, and they would kick out somebody they've been with for 20 years thinking, man, now they didn't make every sale, obviously.
Right.
But, and the product they serve was, it is what it is. I mean, that industry is that industry, just like software is software. If your software works and it fits your client, they love you. But if there's issues with it or they can't control it, out they go. We had a conversation about a very large entity that we replaced because they were difficult to use, but the charging, it was almost 12 times what we were charging. 12 times.
12 times.
Wow.
That's insane.
And it was not an easy to use software.
No. And when it takes 6 months to set up a software rather than a day and a half, and train your people, if you take more than 2 hours on our software, something's wrong with you. I'm assuming yours probably in the same.
It's same.
Well, I mean, that's Kyle's goal, that you're 3 clicks away from what you need.
There you go.
It's easy to use.
It's 3 clicks or 2. Not counting turning on the computer. Well, anyway, but, you see stuff like that, and I mean, it's very tough because I mean, we argue about this all the time, and talk about it about, how do you get your sales? What is your source of your sales? What is your niche? You used that term earlier, and it almost comes down to, unless you have a large financial backing where you've gotten some large clients, you sign a portion of GE and that's what you service. Your niche world is where people are making their money. I do only medical instruments that cut with left-handed surgeons. Okay, there's a niche.
Right.
But that's what my software deals for. And if you get that niche established, well, then you know you have guaranteed money.
Yeah.
But it's where, like, we are like small to medium-sized companies, especially the ones that are needing certification, because that's a specialty of ours, or are certified but don't have a true dedicated workflow software. And I think ours is partly like yours. Where that, you can assign things if you need to.
Right.
And we also have the ability to, since this is a broadcast, I don't want to use the term dumb down, but we can reduce it to more of a basic level. Like your nonconformance reporting, you don't need detailed workflow.
I agree. It's
But getting that in front of the right person. See, my thing is success is I get at a table looking at somebody in the eye, and I show them what my software is, and I show them what, look, we can do audits, we can do your gaps, we can build on this, that stuff. And
it's simplicity.
I can make the sale.
Yeah.
Getting in front of those people is
That's
a
the
mother.
difficult part.
It is.
I mean,
Amen.
Because, okay, y'all are young. You're not in my ballpark. I'm from the old school where you had a list, sometimes a freaking, not a bad word, a phone book of, here's the manufacturers of puppy chow.
Right.
And you start calling them. Hi, can I speak to your quality manager? Hi, can I speak to your quality
Kind of a little boiler room technique.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's like you click, 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 then it's just ridiculous.
Well, heck, we actually just got an email maybe an hour ago offering to sell us a list like that for one of these folks that you replaced.
There you go. And it
So
goes-
they still try to do it, but it's not effective.
well, I guarantee you, certain lists, depending on where you get them from, can be very productive. But we found that, ways that do it, emails, and then follow up with a phone call. And 4% success rate is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, 10% would be wonderful.
Oh yeah.
If I sent out 100 things, if I talked to 10 people and I could sell to 3, if I did that, starting out conservatively every month, there goes my
yeah.
say. But getting to those people and getting them to break that die, and our deal is, I'm assuming we talked earlier, we're not breaking anybody's bank. You are
No.
us.
No.
No.
It's like, hey, dude, $1,500, $2,000. Well, I mean, they spend that on, Uber
Yes.
time.
Yup.
Lunch. Catering a lunch.
Well, I've thought the same thing. My old company, like I remember, we found through just a mix-up because the supervisors weren't communicating with each other. We ordered over $12,000 of too many burrs because each supervisor was building their own stash of them.
Ah.
And so then I take a look at that, and I'm like, and you're not asking to send those back, so we're just going to spend $12,000 on that? But I can't ask for this? It's just so silly sometimes the way folks spend money, but it's just a part of sales.
Well,
Well, and I think the problem with the quality management software is it doesn't affect the person writing the check. It does, but they don't realize how much it does.
It's a very valid point you brought up, because I was going to say that the board, the guy writing the checks,
Right.
the budget committee,
Right.
curse word, they don't feel any benefit nor threat from a quality situation.
Right.
It's a piece of paper on the wall. How hard is it? One guy said one time. They don't care.
Yeah.
And here you are as a quality manager saying, look, I'd like to buy this software for $6,000. It's going to run us $5,400 a year
Right.
to maintain this so that I can do that. And they're going to look at you like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. Paper,
Yeah.
Get a couple guys to help you. That's one of the things you hear a lot. Well,
Yeah.
Get somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, they don't see
But
the
then
value.
if you, like Kyle would go see how much time those guys are spending and how much of their
Oh, yeah.
salary is being spent on that time
Yeah.
and see like you're spending way more than that $6,000.
One thing that, if you, like you said, somebody has a large inventory and they do picking in it, and
Yep.
you've got aged inventory, which is a negative on you no matter
Yes.
what. If you bring in a quality system and you have evaluation, because they're always doing the check picking and they're all that documentation is going back and through, you can say, look, if you do it this way and manage it that way, you can save some money and burn some of that inventory.
Right.
That may get their attention.
Right.
Right.
Or if you can say, let me explain something to you, vice president of whatever the hell you are. Do you know what a nonconformance is? And they'll say, oh, yeah. Well, okay, but it's on a product, right? It's not a process. That's a corrective action. You're talking about a product. So what is that? Okay, it's scratched.
Yeah.
So now, how are you going to dispose of that? Well, on that one, I'm going to rework it. So you're not going to scrap it? Oh, hell no, man, that thing's worth value.
Yep.
So how much does it cost you to rework it? Because the same guy's going to do, now he's got to do an extra one.
Yep.
So I said, when you account for all that stuff, if you've got software that runs that, and then it's looking for patterns, why does that one thing keep screwing up? These are the ones we have problems with. Why?
Yeah.
And you can manage that, and it'll save you money. And then
Yeah.
you do these reports. Why would you not want to do that? You don't even
Right.
have to be certified. Let me just give you a module that you can
Exactly.
use to
Exactly.
save money.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get in front of somebody like that, you've got a shot.
Yeah.
But getting from that point to there,
It's tough.
I think so much of the time, by the time you get to the person writing the check, all they know is my quality manager wants this.
exactly.
Yes.
And as far as they're concerned, you're just a sales guy trying to get money
Yep.
out of
Well,
them. And whatever you tell them doesn't matter.
Well, I
all
had-
they want to know is
Y'all
how
been
much
in the oil and
you
gas business or fields for your whole life, right?
Yep.
Or most of it.
Well, I
Yeah.
have. She
Yeah.
she
I
came,
got
she was
pulled
a
in.
teacher.
Yeah.
I drug her in, kicking and screaming.
Oh, I thought you said I was a pole dancer. I'm sorry. I didn't know. So she actually knows more about the oil and gas industry than you do. But, it's the value, okay? And when you cut back in companies, as the last 6 years, well, the last couple of years we've been better, but, like 3 or 4 years ago,
Oh yeah.
one of the
It was
very
bad.
first, if not the first department to get whacked was quality. I've had clients where I walked in, there's quality manager, assistant quality manager, and 3 inspectors. I go back the next year, it's just that one dude sitting there, or it's some young kid that they just promoted, and he's sitting there going, what?
What do I do? Yeah.
I had one call me the other day.
That was me 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy call me the other day, and I tell you, this guy's young. I found out he's 26. I said, how long have you been a quality manager? 6 weeks. Oh, man. Have you seen the standard? Have you actually read it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just, and you have to fight that, too, because, for instance, if you've had cutbacks, you're not getting, there's no way in hell you're going to get that business.
Yeah.
They're just not going to do it. You can give it away for free, and they're not going to use it.
Yeah. Because there's still the cost of change.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if we could all figure out in our industry, especially us smaller guys like us, the big companies that we won't mention,
Right.
All puppy killers, and so I mean, the point is, if we could figure out how to approach niches and how to get basic business, because let's face it, a company with 50 people or 100 people, we're the perfect match.
Yeah.
We're all local.
Yep.
They know where to find you. They listen to your podcast, whatever.
Yeah,
They hear
exactly.
our names. They hear my name. They come to QIA.
Right.
QIA. They come to ASQ.
Yeah.
I'm an officer. I speak
Yep.
here. That's a niche.
Yep.
If we could get into that niche and drive that business, it would be so much better for all of us.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I
We're
agree.
getting killed. I mean, it's just all of us are getting killed because it's just indifference to quality at the management level. The C levels and up, there's almost an indifference.
That's one of the reasons we decided to start this podcast, because we don't actually make nothing off of it. Well, currently, no sponsors yet. Anyone wants to sponsor a podcast, we are open to the idea.
Please do.
But we just want to get out there, like how much this stuff not only just matters, but it's a part of everything.
Everything.
There's nothing that's not impacted by
if
quality.
you think about it, like procedures, you talk about procedures, and I do this when I teach and when I speak. I've written a couple of white papers on it, but a procedure is nothing but a word for a habit. And I always use the example of men.
Speaking my language.
That shaving or brushing your teeth, you tend to do the same. You start on the same tooth every day.
I use that exact example in a training this week.
That's right. There you go. It's everything alike. And I mean, if you can get that across to people that look, you live a life of quality. It may be crappy quality, but
It's quality.
because I mean, you do everything the same.
Yeah.
You shave men that shave their face.
I got less to shave, but I got a way to do it.
Yeah. Well, that Taliban's got your number. They'll be calling the same. But I mean,
But it's true. Like even at home, though, if I complain about something or say something about the kids, and he'll say, "Well, let's seriously sit down and write a process about how we're going to handle this from now on." And I'm like, "Stop! This is enough."
Once he left the bedroom, it wasn't any fun anymore, right?
No more.
Oop, non-conformance.
All right.
gosh,
And on that note,
Well, we are almost at our 20-minute
deeply
limit.
appreciate you having me.
But no, I appreciate it. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
You got any final thoughts or comments?
I think we're good.
I think good. Hey, I appreciate it.
Oh,
It's
no
been awesome.
problem. Thanks
Thank
for having me,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Take care.